everyone, it's Sarah and welcome to my crochet channel. Today's video I'm going to show you how to crochet a vintage shaped Christmas ornament that can be used as a washcloth, a hot pad, pot holder, or just a really fun decoration. This is the original pattern. We used 3 colors. And this is the updated and retested pattern, and we just used 2 colors. So you can do it however that you want to. One thing to keep in mind, if you're going to be using this as a hot pad or pot holder, make sure you use a cotton yarn, because acrylic yarn, as we know, when it gets hot, it gets melty and it can burn your hand and the surfaces that you put a hot pot on. In other words, we want to be safe. Now you can find this free crochet pattern on my blog, and we'll put that blog link down in the notes underneath this video. To make a vintage shaped Christmas ornament, you're going to need some yarn, of course. This one is just stitched and Red Heart Super Saver because I'm going to use it as a decoration. This one has sparkly yarn. The center gold is Vanna's Choice acrylic, and then this purple sparkle is Karen Party, and it also is a medium weight number 4 yarn. And remember, if you're going to use it to put hot pots on or set on your counter to protect it from hot pots, make sure you make it out of a cotton yarn, not an acrylic. For today's demonstration, I'm going to use these 3 colors. And we're going to make one with 3 colors like this one. We're going to use gray, lipstick pink, and spring green. All 3 of these are from Hobby Lobby, and they're their I Love This Yarn solid colors. So you can use any medium weight number 4 yarn for this project. It just depends on what you're going to use it for. And of course, I'm using these for decorations. You'll need a total of about 1.5 ounces. So if you're going to use 3 colors, about 1/2 ounce of each color. We're going to be stitching today with our H hook, which is a 5.0 millimeter crochet hook. You'll need a needle to weave in those ends, and then you'll need a pair of scissors. We're going to begin with our slip knot, and we're going to chain 5. We're going to join this chain 5 in a circle. So we'll put the tail of yarn over our hook and pull that through. And then we'll tie that stay knot so our loop doesn't come undone. Put our hook in, pull up a loop, and chain 3. The chain 3 counts as our first double crochet. We're going to stitch 9 more double crochets so we have a total. Yarn over, go in, pull up a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2, yarn over and go through the second 2. So there's our chain 3 counts as 1 and our first double crochet. So 1, 2, 3, there's 5, 8, and 10. All right, let's count just to make sure. Our chain 3 counts as 1, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. We're going to join to the top of that chain 3 with a slip stitch and chain 3. Now we're going to go ahead and gently pull on that tail of yarn. We'll grab our needle and go ahead and weave that in, and then that will already be taken care of. Give a nice little tug, And remember, when you're weaving in, go one way, then the other, and try to go through stitches and fibers of the yarn so that that holds nice and snug. And we'll clip that off. And so for row 1, we have 10 double crochets joined to the top of our chain 3 and chained 3. For row 2, we're going to place 2 double crochets in each of the stitches around. Our chain 3 counts as our first, so we'll stitch a second right in that same stitch. And then we'll go to our next stitch and stitch 2 double crochets. 2 double crochets in each of those double crochets around. Two double crochets in each double crochet around, and we'll join back to our chain 3. I've stitched 2 double crochets in each double crochet around, and I joined to my chain 3 with a slip stitch. And let me show you how I did that. Let me just go in, pull up a loop, then pull that loop through the loop on the hook. Alright, I'm going to be changing colors, so I'm going to cut my yarn. It's up to you when you want to change colors, if you want to do 2 rows, 3 rows, however that you want to do it. But one thing to remember is that you should do your chain 3 after your color change. So I'm going to bring in my color 2, which is my pink. Get the tail out of the way there. And then I'm going to chain 3. And the reason we do this is because if I would have gone ahead and done my chain 3 in the first color, I would have one color that doesn't match that row, because the chain 3 counts is our first double crochet. Alright, so what we're going to do on row 3 is we're just going to repeat what we did on row 2. The only difference is we have a lot more stitches. Chain 3 counts as our first. We'll double crochet in the same stitch as our chain 3, and then we'll place 2 double crochets in each of the double crochets around. We started with 10. Row 2 has 20, and so since we're doing 2 stitches in each of the double crochets around, we're going to have 40 double crochets for row 3. 2 double crochets in each of those double crochets around. There we go. Want to slip right off my hook. Alright, so 2 double crochets in each double crochet around, and then we'll join back to our chain 3 and chain 3, because we're not going to change colors on the next row. I have completed row 4, stitching 2 double crochets in each of the double crochets around, so I have 40 double crochets. I'm going to join to the top of my chain 3, and I'm not changing colors, so I'm going to stitch my chain 3. The chain 3 counts as 1 double crochet. On row 4, we're going to stitch 2 and 2. 1 double crochet in the next stitch, and then 2 double crochets in the next. 1 and 2. 1 double crochet in the next 2. 1. Oops. There we go. 1 double crochet in the next 2 double crochets, and then 2 double crochets in the next. 1 and 2. And that's why I call it 2 and 2. 1 double crochet in the next 2. And 2 double crochets in the next. 1 and 2. 1 double crochet in the next 2 and 2 double crochets in the next. We'll repeat that all the way around and join back to our chain 3. I have completed row 4, stitching 2 and 2. I'm going to join to the top of my chain 3, and I'm not going to chain 3 because I'm changing colors again. So I'm going to cut my pink yarn and bring in this bright green. And again, because I changed colors, I'm doing my chain 3 after my color change. Now, for row 5, we're going to do 3 and 2. Our double crochet counts as our first double crochet, and then we'll double crochet in the next 2 stitches. 1 and 2. And then we'll stitch 2 double crochets in the next stitch. 1 and 2. And this is our repeat. 1 double crochet in the next 3 double crochets. There we go. And then 2 double crochets in the next. 1 and 2. 1 double crochet in the next 3 double crochets. And 2 double crochets in the next. One double crochet in the next 3 double crochets, 2 double crochets in the next, repeat all the way around, and we'll join back to our chain 3. I've completed row 5, stitching 3 and 2. We're going to join to the chain 3 and chain 3. Now on this row, we're going to be making the little point that gives this ornament the vintage look. We're going to begin with stitching 4 and 2. So our chain 3 counts as our first. So we'll stitch 1 double crochet in the next 3. Then we'll stitch 2 double crochets in the next. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2 in the next. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 double crochet in the next 4 stitches, and then 2 in the next. 1 and 2. And we're going to repeat the 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2 4 more times. 1 double crochet in the next 4 double crochets, and 2 double crochets in the next. So there's 1, and I need to repeat it 3 more times. So I have done my repeats, and now I'm going to show you how to do the little point. We're going to stitch 1 single crochet in the next 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to stitch 2 double crochets in the next stitch. 1 and 2. And we're going to chain 1. 2 double crochets in the next stitch. 1 and 2. Now we're going to stitch 1 single crochet in the next 3. 1, 2, 3. And see how that looks? 3 single crochets. Let me turn it around this way. 3 single crochets, 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, and 3 single crochets. And that helps form that point that's going to be the point on our vintage ornament. Now we're going to go back to stitching 1 double crochet in the next 4 and 2 in the next. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2 double crochets in the next. 1 and 2. And then we'll continue to repeat that. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2, back around and join to our chain 3. 1 double crochet in the next 4, and 2 double crochets in the next. Repeat all the way back around and join to our chain 3. I've completed those repeats. I'm going to join to my chain 3, and I'm just going to chain 1. And you can see the shape. We have our repeats around, then we did our 3 single crochets, 2 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochets, then the 3 single crochets, and then we went back to our repeats of 4 and 2. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to just stitch a single crochet in each stitch around. So we joined and we only chained 1. And we're going to place 1 single crochet in each of the stitches around. And this is just going to give us a nice edge and help the ornament hold its shape. If you want to change colors here, you certainly can. I just don't. I like it to remain the same. And like I said, you can change colors as many times as you want to, or you can do it all one color if you want to. So we're just going to go around stitching 1 single crochet in each of the stitches, working all the way around our ornament. And then we'll join back up here after we get all the way around. We'll join back to our first single crochet. I've single crocheted in each stitch. Make sure you put a single crochet in that chain 1 as well, and then all the way back around, 1 single crochet in each stitch, and we're going to join to that first single crochet with a slip stitch. We're going to cut that yarn, and of course I'm at the end of mine. We're going to pull that loop to the back and tie that off. And of course we do have some ends to tie off. And the next thing that we need to do is add that little hanger that goes on our ornament. To add our ornament, we want it to be centered from where we started. So we're going to count over 4 from where we joined. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to put our hook in. Grab that yarn, and I'm using this gray, and chain 1. Now, before you start stitching, just take a look at it. We're going to need 8 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and make sure that it lines up with your point down here. All right, so we're going to place 1 single crochet in that first stitch and then 1 single crochet in the next 7, so we have 8 single crochets. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's where I joined, I think. It's a little snug there. All right, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I need one more. We want 8 stitches. Now, again, before you stitch this row, make sure it lines up with your point. You don't want your hanger to be over here on the side, okay? So just check, make sure. Sometimes when you join, it can get a little wonky, so just make sure that it's lined up. So we have 8 single crochets. We're going to chain 1 and then we'll turn. Our chain 1 does not count as a stitch, so we're going to go right in that first stitch and stitch a single crochet and then 1 in each of those stitches. So we have 8 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, chain 1 and turn. And then we're going to repeat that. 1 single crochet in each of those 8 stitches. Chain 1 and turn, and on this row we're going to make the little handle. So we're going to place a single crochet in the first 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then we'll just go right to the next stitch and stitch a single crochet, 1 in each of those last 4. We'll cut our yarn and tie off. And it looks like I have a bunch of weaving in to do. Let me turn it over so you can see the front of how it looks. There's our hanger and there's the little topper on the top of our ornament. All right, now you do want to weave in all these ends to the back. And while I'm doing this, I do want to explain that if you want to make your washcloth or hot pad thicker, you can make 2 of the ornaments, and when you stitch that last row of single crochet, you can put the 2 together and stitch around and stitch the 2 together. But I'll go ahead and weave those in later, but let's turn it over so we can see how it looks. So here is the vintage shaped ornament that we just made together. Here's the purple sparkly one I showed you, and here's the one in classic Christmas colors. So you can see you can change colors whenever you want to, and you can use whatever colors that goes with your holiday decorations.